Hey guys, welcome to 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description. And here's what I need you to do. Make sure you subscribe to the Volumes YouTube channel to stay up to date to everything we're doing here on 3 and Out and the Volume. So I wanted to dive into the Khalil Mack trade. I think it's pretty simple. I think pro sports representing these companies in America, aggressive wins. Pedal to the metal. Stop making excuses. Take big swings. Look at Major League Baseball. Actually, lockout officially ended today. They're cool with you striking out, which, can be a little bit like, I like every once in a while seeing a guy go the other way, which, again, I'm cool with you keeping your third-round pick every once in a while. But when you have the chance to make some of these trades for some of these players, I'm all for it. And these new age GMs, these younger GMs, are being very aggressive. Now, Telesco has been a GM now 9 years. And I was actually texting, little name drop, Peter Schrager. We were just BSing, and he alluded to a stat that I was like, damn, it doesn't seem like that, but it makes sense. Telesco's made the playoffs one time as the general manager of the Chargers. Been there 9 years. Been there a long time. Now, as a former scout in me, and listen, I don't know Tom personally. I think he does a pretty good job. Same deal with Chris Ballard. But you are dependent on your coach. Now, Ballard, Frank's solid. Is he perfect? No. But they've had Anthony Lynn, who, good assistant coach, not a good head coach. Brandon Staley, I got no clue if he knows what he's doing. And before that, did they inherit with, it was Mike McCoy. So, part of it is the Chargers. If your business goes cheap at the most important employee, then you're going to have a problem. And they consistently go cheap at head coach. There's a reason the good teams, typically their coaches cost $10 to $15 million. There's a reason Nick Saban and Kirby Smart kick everyone's ass. They both make $9.5 million, right? Urban Meyer, now Ryan Day, they get paid a premium. There are certain positions in America that get paid a lot. Like if you're CEO of a big bank, you're going to be making a lot of money. Position pays a lot. Like you can talk shit all you want about Roger Goodell making 40 plus whatever million dollars. He runs an enterprise that just signed a $100 billion television contract. Like most people in the private sector, when you're in charge of that, get compensated at a high level. And for whatever reason, the Chargers never want to pay a coach. But they have good players. And this move is a no-brainer. Part of having Justin Herbert on a rookie quarterback is taking advantage of the cap space. So you get a pass rusher who, now he's coming off a pretty major injury, foot injury, missed basically half the season. He had 6 sacks in 7 games. And I remember a buddy in the NFL texting me, early on in the season, goes, God, Khalil Mack looks like Khalil Mack. So you put Khalil Mack, you put him with Joey Bosa, you're cooking with gas. And I'll talk about a little bit later in the podcast, like their run defense was a joke, and that's on Brandon Staley to get it figured out. But a great pass rush makes everything else easy. And here's the other thing with Khalil Mack. He is an elite, not a good, an elite run defender. So he adds toughness to your run defense, and he takes away whatever side he's on, you're not running at 52 because you're not moving him. So a no-brainer move. I admire and I applaud anyone in any industry that pedal to the metal, chips in the middle of the table. Shouldn't that's how we operate? Now, there's a difference from being reckless, right, and putting your chips in the middle of the table and put it on red, right? And there's also getting Khalil Mack, a guy that's been countless All-Pros and Pro Bowls, and when he's healthy is one of the best players in the league. Tip my hat. Good move, Chargers. Great move. They've had a good week. Mike Williams, re-signed, get Khalil Mack. The AFC West is no joke. The irony is these two conferences on the West Coast are a mother. The AFC West added Russell Wilson, added obviously Khalil Mack today. We know how good the NFC West is. Now they lost Russell, but Seattle finished dead last year in the division. There are a lot of rumors with Derek Carr. What's going to happen? I don't really know. Only time's going to tell what Josh really thinks of Derek. Do they extend him? I don't think they trade him, but let's face it, rumors are flying out there, and they do every year with Derek. And from the Bears standpoint, sometimes you do have to bottom out. Sometimes you do have to blow it up. And the Bears are at the point where you got to blow it up. The shitty part about blowing it up, though, they have a rookie quarterback too. And if Justin Fields, their franchise hinges on Justin Fields. If he becomes a Pro Bowler, the Bears will be good. If he's a quote-unquote bust, they're screwed. And they got a brand new coach, which we have no clue if he's any good. They have a new GM who, my guys in Kansas City really, really like. But when he was hired, he said, we're going to take back the North. And then a month later, Aaron Rodgers comes back to the North. Like, hey, Ryan, you're not taking back the North. The Packers are going to own the fucking North for the foreseeable future. So you need to figure out how to get Justin Fields playing well. And you have to, they didn't have a first-round pick, but I got no problem not having a first-round pick going up to get a quarterback last year. They made the right move. Now, all the pressure's on getting him good and doing everything humanly possible. They had to clear up the cap a little bit, and that's part of getting rid of Khalil. And he's one of the only assets they have that has value that, they could part with, right? He's over 30. You're not going to part with Roquan Smith. But their offensive line stinks. They don't have that many playmakers. Allen Robinson's a free agent. Defensively, they got a long way to go. I think the Bears could really, really suck next year. And we talk about quarterbacks, quote unquote, being a bust or not living up to the potential. Like, is it Justin Fields' fault that the Chicago Bears are in kind of roster turmoil, right? I mean, he's used to playing at Georgia, playing at Ohio State with loaded rosters. Now, obviously, it's not that easy in the NFL, but, look at some of these. Russell Wilson gets drafted to Seattle, squad ready to roll. Dak Prescott goes to Dallas, ready to roll. Trey Lance gets drafted by the 49ers. Boom. Start cooking with gas. Mac Jones, Bill Belichick signs him or drafts him. And he spends $500 million that offseason or whatever, accumulating all these players. So the variables, and this works for any part of any human's life, any company you work for, there are things out of your control, right? There are variables that you cannot control. No matter how talented you are, no matter how smart you are, there are things surrounding you in a professional environment that you need to go well for you to succeed. It's really hard to overcome, the things that are out of your control if they're done poorly, and it's a disaster. And I feel that way with Justin Fields. Like, if this does not go well and Uberflus doesn't know what he's doing and Ryan Poles, is a little overwhelmed, like, his career is going to be derailed fast. That's why Zach Wilson, do they know what they're doing in the New York Jets? You'd say historically they usually don't. So I'm fascinated to see that way that it goes. I'm glad Khalil Mack's with the Chargers. I can't wait to watch. I watch NFC and AFC West football. I watch a lot more NFC West football because I haven't really been watching the Broncos. And I had the Raiders games on, but, for the first time in years last year, they were really interesting. Now I got the Raiders interesting. I got definitely the Broncos interesting. The Chargers and the Chiefs are definitely interesting. Seattle's not, but the Niners, Rams, and Cardinals are. So we do not do college football. We're an embarrassment right now in college football. We have a long way to go, but holy shit do we do the NFL out west. Pac-12, bad football. NFL football out west, awesome. The Chiefs, do they count as west? No, but they're in the division, so we claim them. But, everything west of Denver, good times right now. Khalil Mack back in the division, which kind of put him on the map. I remember I was going to all those Raider games when Khalil Mack first came into the league. He was a raw pass rusher. Like, for example, Nick Bosa got to the NFL, ready to go, had pass rush. Khalil didn't really know what he was doing. But it was like, I had a buddy that coached for the Raiders and up, during the Khalil Mack era. And I vividly remember asking him, at the end of OTAs, I'm like, how good is that guy? He's like, to be honest with you, he was the best player on the team after 2 snaps in rookie minicamp. And he just needed to figure out, and within a couple years, he was an all-pro at multiple positions. A complete freak show. My personal belief on Khalil, he's better when he believes he can win. And I think the last couple years, it was like things are gotten weird in Chicago. Not that he's a checkout front runner, but he has to exert so much will and so much force and play so hard that it's like, what am I doing this for? And now he's on the Chargers, which, let's face it, a ton of pressure. Well, technically not media pressure because no one really, they're second fiddle in LA and they're the Chargers. But just in terms of the way we're going to talk about them, they have a star young quarterback who's on a rookie contract. They got good players at several positions. It's playoffs or bust. If you don't, and listen, I think Telesco knows it. It's why you make this trade, which is the easiest trade he'll ever make. Whether it works or not, as of today, you make this trade with your eyes closed. There should be several other teams. Now, because I was thinking, why didn't the Niners make this trade? Why didn't the Chiefs make this trade? I know cap stuff, but you can get rid of cap space. I think it's more the Chargers pick is better than a lot of teams that would have easily made this pick or made this trade in, I know it's in the second round, but a lot of the teams that draft in the 20s, which essentially is the 50s and 60s in the second round, their pick is better. So that's the one positive of missing the playoff is they had a good pick for all the teams that would be interested in Khalil Mack. Now it's time to see these 2 pass rushers get after it. Thanks for watching 3 and Out. You can check out the podcast below in the description, and make sure you subscribe right now to the Volumes YouTube channel.